Hey guys, and welcome back to our little core data series. We're making a FIFA team and player tracker just using code. This is part 3, so make sure you're caught up and ready to code for today. This is what we did last time. We created a little test model to render some dummy text into a table view cell. We added this button at the top right. Today we're going to add some functionality to this button and transition over to a new controller called CreateTeamController. In there we'll create a label and a text field. I've also added a link in the description so you can download the assets for the project which you'll need in later videos. So that being said, let's jump into some coding. Okay, so let's create a new standard Uiviewcontroller under our controllers group on the left. So a new file, just call it CreateTeamController. Create team controller, and we're going to import UIKit. We almost always want to import UIKit. And let's call it CreateTeamController. This is going to be a standard UIView controller. So under our there we go. And we're going to call viewDidLoad and the superclass viewDidLoad. Okay, so inside here, let's just set a background color, and we'll use our light red background, which we've been using throughout the application. We can set the title to create team and use our setup navbar style as well to make sure our view controllers match. We'll also make some space at the top for our name label as well, and textField, which we're going to add shortly. So light red background. We'll also set the title navigation item.title to create team, and then we just want to call our navbar styling as well, so everything, as I say, matches up. So we'll make a little bit of space at the top because we're going to need that for our name label and our text label as well. So then we can, let's test this controller by going back over to Teams controller and under handle add, rather than just calling a print statement, let's wipe that out. And all we want to do here is just present our view controller that we just created when we tap the button. So this is easy in code, just create a reference to the new controller. So CreateTeamController equals our new controller that we just created, CreateTeamController. CreateTeamController. Then we just want to create a nav controller as well, just to wrap that controller up in. It can be a little bit buggy, the autocomplete here, so sometimes you have to just physically type in root view controller, then the controller that you just created above. It's a little bit buggy sometimes. And also the present navigation, which we're going to do below now, sometimes the autocomplete on that, if anybody knows how to fix that, that would be great, but it just goes for me sometimes. So we want to present this controller modally, so we can use just the present feature here. So again, my autocomplete is not playing ball, so we just need to type this manually. So we just need to pass in our nav controller, choose animated true, and just a completion block at nil. We don't want to do anything fancy at the moment. So we should be able to run that now. We should get a successful build, which we do. And if we click on the add button, there we go. So it presents nicely. We got our create team title there as well. So it's a good start. So what we need to do now, we just need to go back to CreateTeamController and the space we just made at the top. Let's create a name label, a standard UI label inside a closure constructed. So we just say let label equal to UI label. We'll set the label text color to .white, and inside .white, it's complaining I know why. We'll set the name label there. Yeah, I haven't closed it off. So yeah, we're inside a closure, so we just need to construct it with the braces. Okay, so now we need to call the property translates auto resizing mask and set it to false. It's quite a long one, but because we're creating everything in code, we have to set it to false. By default, this property is actually set to true. So if we were using interface builder, for instance, we wouldn't have to do this, but programmatically, you have to do this. So don't forget to do this, otherwise nothing will appear no matter what you do. And that's happened to me a few times. So we'll just copy this. We're just going to create just a standard text field next to it. So we want the text field to sit to the right of the name label. And it's just a standard text field, so we'll set text field to UI text field. And let's wipe some of this out. Yeah, I should have actually kept that in, but that's fine. We can just return text field. We'll set the placeholder as well. We'll just call it entity name. And also the text color to white. So entity name, text field, text color to white. And then don't forget translate or resizing mask into constraints equal to false. Otherwise, again, nothing will appear. So that's good. So now what we need to do, we need to add some constraints. Now I see a lot of beginners just dumping all the constraints inside view did load. It's actually a really bad idea. So what we need to do is wrap this inside just a function. So we'll create that below. This is all internal implementation, so we'll make it file private. So file private func setup UI. So inside here, what we're going to need to do is create a little view for ourselves just to sit behind the name field and the text label. So we'll just create a standard UIView inside this setup and then add some constraints. So we just say light red background view equals UIView. And we'll set the background color to one of our cell red colors. And again, translates auto resizing mask to false, otherwise nothing will appear. So let's add that to the salad subview. And then we just need to give it some constraints. So we're going to need top, left, and right, and just a little bit of height. So we'll just say light red background dot top anchor dot constraints. We want to set that to the view's safe area layout guide dot top anchor. And for the right, sorry, for the left anchor dot constraint to the view's left anchor. Light background view dot right anchor dot constraint equal to the view's right anchor. And then what we'll do, we'll just give this just a little bit of height as well. So light background view dot height anchor dot constraint, and we'll set that to just a constant float, let's say 50. Okay, so let's, yeah, looks good. So we'll build this now. This actually isn't actually gonna work, and I'll tell you why. When we click on that, nothing appears, and the reason why is because we've set up the view and the subview, but we haven't activated these constraints. So we need to put isActive on the end of each of these constraints. It's not ideal. There are better ways of doing this, and we will refactor later on. But for now, we'll just set these to isActive equals true. Now we can run that again, and we should see our little red background appear at the top of the controller. Which we do. So now what we need to do, we just need to pop our name label and our text field inside that little background, which again is easy to do in code. So let's do that now. So we've already created our name label, so again we just need to add them to the subview. So view.add subview, pass in our name label. Actually made a mistake there, it should be name, not name. So it's nameLable. Pass that in, nameLable. Then we just need some constraints. So we're gonna need our top anchor, and that's gonna be equal to the views again, safe area layout guide dot top anchor. And we'll activate this now while we're here. Equal to true. We can actually just copy that because we're going to need it in a second. Then nameLable dot, let's set the left anchor to, yeah, it's going to be the left anchor. And now what we just need, we do need to give it a width, so we'll do that now. So nameLable dot width anchor dot constraint, and then we'll set that to equal to a constant of say 100. Activate it, nameLable dot height anchor, just to give it a height as well, dot constraint equal to a constant of say 50, and activate that as well. And we should, if we run that, successful build, always good. So we click on that now, we should see our name label on the left. We do, it's a little bit tight to the left, so what we'll do, we'll go inside the left anchor and then just add a constant on the end there. So just after left anchor, just type constant, and then just pop in 10. You can give it more if you like, but I think 10 should be fine. And what we should see now, that should pop up from the left. So yeah, it just gives us, just looks a little bit nicer. It gives us a little bit of space. So finally now we just need to add the text field top anchor. Again, we're going to need the views safe area top anchor. Now the left anchor will be, when you think about it, we're going to need the text field to sit to the right of the name label, so we can actually use after this top anchor. So view.safeArea layout guide.top anchor. The name text fields, let's see, so it's going to need to be to the right of the name label, which means the left anchor of the text field needs to be the name label's right anchor, if that makes sense. Because what we want to do, we want to tie them together. So we'll set the text field's left to the name label's right anchor, and then what we'll do, we'll also set the bottom as well. So if that name label moves, the text field moves with it as well. So they're kind of married together, so when we need to make a little bit of space above it later on, they'll just move nicely together, so it's exactly what we need. So nameLable.bottom anchor. What we can do, we can activate that while we're there, and set the bottom anchor to the nameLabel's bottom anchor, which we just did, and then just the right anchor as well. So it's really easy to add constraints in code. No messing around with autolating and the storyboard. You can do it all in one place. You've got more control if you get an error. I just find it much more efficient to do it in code. So let's run that. We should now see our text field nicely next to our name label. So looking good, looking good. Yeah, looks good to me. So that's it for today, guys. We've done loads today. It's looking really nice now. We've created the team controller with our label and text field all laid out nicely. We've got our handle add transitioning over to the CreateTeamController as well. So next time we're going to add some buttons at the top and actually get these two controllers talking to each other via a protocol. So we're going to be exercising the delegate pattern in Swift, which is super nice. Don't forget to drop a comment or subscribe if you like the videos. Love to hear what you think and how we can make it better. Don't forget, we're building this together, so if there's anything you want me to add in, we can do that. And yeah, so I'll see you next time.